So, my dear Cancer, the sun is in Leo, giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign, and we are going out again. You just had in the last reading the new moon, and there you have the sun and the moon in your sign. And that's important, right? Because there's no other zodiac sign that is actually influencing us. And so it's really important that you see here the understanding now that that was the new moon, that was the last reading to the left, to the soul, to that inner knowledge, the wisdom that we have from deep within. And now we're going out to the right, the human path, to the full moon again, extroverted. And so you're the 7th major arcana, and here we have the 8th major arcana. And what's interesting, right? Usually you would think I have to place the card here, but it's here, and as such the lion is calling into here the Chariot, and it's really like so clear, right? And usually we'd be like, oh, it's calling into the past, but it's actually calling your soul, it's calling your intuition, it's calling you to continue the path of love now to the extroverted perspective, right? You gained everything there is to gain introverted, your soul journey. And now you're going out, and everything that you have understood, you can bring out to the world. Now, Leo is ruled by the sun, and as such, the sun is at home. And so it's a very beautiful sign, right? Where here, Leo is literally calling you. The wild side is calling you. Also, the moon is leading you, and so the moon is at home. And so it's a very beautiful connection here through here the Strength card, and of course you, the Chariot. And as such, the moon is all about your feelings and your subconscious. When we calculate the 7 and the 8 together, we get the 15. The 15 is Capricorn, your opposite sign. And that's where we get attached to the success, to the money. And we sometimes come off our path. The path towards love has nothing to do with money. But if money comes because you love what you do, then accept that money, right? And it shouldn't be the other way around. And so the 15, we can always see the Wheel of Fortune, the 10 inside there, which is Jupiter, which is the grandeur, which is like, I want to experience this life. And then the 5 are the 5 senses, or the Hierophant, which is Taurus. And when we calculate the 15 together, the 6 is left here in this combination. And the 6 is self-love, the love that we give ourselves first before we ask our partner to do the job. You need to do the job for yourself first, right? And so here we see a beautiful story, and this moment only exists once a year. And when we include the other planets, then we can recognize that this moment maybe only exists once in your life. So he's calling, right? Very clear. The yoga position for Leo is Simhasana, is the lion's pose. And so you learn to roar, right? Because the sun is giving the light to the moon. And the moon just has a small sliver because you just had the new moon. So it's not a lot of light that you're getting from Leo. But nevertheless, it's like he's roaring, right? You are Ashvasanchalanasana, the high lounge. And here you pull yourself towards the spine. You know that it's important to come always into your center. And we see the lungs, right? It's like a dome of air. That's where we're breathing in, because the lungs is the body part that is connected to you. Here, the heart, right? And that's why we sometimes call it the lion heart. So just this story, right? It's kind of like already there. I could do a whole reading. Then we have, of course, as a court card here in Aleister Crowley, the deck that I gave you, the Queen of Cups. And of course, she's the 4th zodiac sign, and as such, she's connected to the 4th house of home and family. And she loves, right, to take care of her friends and families, and she's like really the healer. She's water and water because all queens are water. And so it's really clear that this is a very beautiful card. Is your birthday between June 10th and July 12th, then this is your court card. If not, please look in the description below. You might be the court card before. And then look at the major arcana, because the major arcana follows the monthly dates, right? That the sun moves into the zodiac sign. And so they're overlapping. They're not in the same time frame. They're a little bit moved. And so you could actually have a mix between the major arcana and the court card. As Cancer, you are the one that takes care of the people, right? And so that's why you also called the healer. Back to the last reading. Remember, that's when you had your new moon. And the message was, what if you stop projecting your own desires and expectations onto others? So we're going to the right. The path out is happening again, and I just want you to see lust, which is in Aleister Crowley, Leo, and it's not the number 8, it's the number 11. So we have here Jupiter and the Magician coming together in the 11, and that's a portal. Now there's two schools, right? And one school says, well, Leo is 11 and Libra is 8 and reverse. And I say, well, both of them are right. There is no such things as right and wrong, and it's just there are different perspectives to something that we cannot really understand, right? And I leave it like that. You need to figure out for yourself what works, right? Are you the number 8 or are you the number 11? Make that decision for yourself, right? Good. So we begin with the Queen of Cups, because she is as a court card that which you live outwards. Now, if you maybe the court card before or after, you might want to have a look at that message, because then you can have a look at the court card's message, and here in this deck you can look at the soul message, right? And the court card is always, of course, that human aspect in us. So here we get the King of Swords coming, and he is the 11th zodiac sign. And it's really interesting because you had the 11 here as a lust, right, through Leo, but it's just I wanted you to see that card. So still the 11 is here. The 11 is letting you know, okay, you gotta see and recognize now that a 1-1 portal is bringing you the inner knowledge, the inner wisdom. And so I see a date here, the 4th of November or the 11th of April. You know your story, so you need to figure out what fits and what doesn't, right? So Aquarius is, of course, the new age that we're heading towards. It's the 11th house of community and technology. And so it comes to me that you need to use in your healing modalities the technology, the community that you fit in, so that you can create here a very strong energy through the way you are using your mind. Because Aquarius is all about how I'm gonna mentally do what I do, because you are water and water. He's air and air. And all kings are air, right? And so the element air is coming here together with the king. And so there's water and water and air and air, and it's very interesting, right? This kind of combination. And so it's good for you to have a look at what that means for you. Then we're going to look at the High Priestess. And for the High Priestess, I have here the Hermetic Tarot, which is black and white. And she's the one that always is between duality. And here we see the one wand, right, which we use as to take that one action. And it's almost like the High Priestess is testing you. She's like, okay, what is it that you want? What is it that you think you need to do to get what you want? And it's that one thing that you need to start to get what you want. And she's literally calling you, right? And so here the wand is of course also connected with Leo, and it's like this little bit of light that the sun is giving to the moon, right? It's enough to take that one deep action, because the Ace of Wands is always the higher consciousness action. And so the 2 and the 1 creates a 3, and the 3 we know is of course the Empress, and the Empress is Venus. Then I wanted to see what your deck is bringing here, and it's the 7 of Pentacles. Now the 7 of Pentacles is letting you know that you worked hard, but also remember Saturn in Taurus is that whatever you did, it was good what you did, but the card is kind of somber, right? It's a little dark. And Saturn rules Capricorn, and Capricorn is the opposite sign of you that's going to give you the light for your full moon, and that's where you're heading. And so it's almost like saying, well, come out of the dark, come out of the new moon, go out there, right? And do what you got to do. And so the 7 and here then the 3 is a 10. And that 10 is like a new cycle that is beginning. It's almost like she's saying, yeah, you're on a new cycle, right? Because here you had an ace. Plus the 2 is a 3, the 3. And of course here the 7 is the 10. And you understand really clearly, okay, the 10 from ace to 10, it's like, I really got to take a step, right? And so you can also, of course, create an 8 plus a 2. The 8 again here, the strength that you need to take that step, no matter what happened here, right? In the way you worked or in the way you have been working. The 10 is literally saying, yeah, you starting a new cycle. Now then I wanted to see the Mother Peace Tarot, and remember this was an 11 and now we have a 1, so we had 3 times the 1 here, and 3 times is here the empowerment from the 3rd chakra, and the one and the only, and this like understanding that the higher consciousness is always in the 1. And so 3 times the 1 here, it's also really clear that there is a very strong, clear message coming to you. The Mother Peace Tarot is bringing you the Sun of Wands to the left. And the Sun of Wands is actually Sagittarius. And here, Sagittarius, you see him dancing and being really funny and having, you know, like a jolly time. And so now that he goes to the left, he's almost like also a fire sign. He's almost saying, yeah, use this wand. Really use this wand to invest the money that you made. Because he is the 9th zodiac sign. And so the 9 gives itself up, right? Or we can also calculate here the 10 plus the 9 is a 19, then the Sun, and the Sun is in Leo, and Leo is using the wand. It's almost like he's directing you to this Ace of Wands. Take one action and then see what happens, and you see something really powerful happens. Now when he's facing the left, it's your soul letting you know what is happening here. And so the 19 becomes a 10 again. A new journey is beginning, and Leo is confirming it, right? And you understand, yeah, a new cycle is beginning, maybe with the help of an Aquarius or with the help of a Sagittarius. Then we look into the Chariot, and the Chariot is bringing you the 10 of Wands. Now the 10 of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius. And what's really interesting, right, we had Saturn here in Taurus. And so you worked hard. I think you really worked so much for the money that you have right now. And so look at it. Look at it really clearly, because the 10 and the 7 is a 17. That's the star. That's Aquarius. And it's important to see that you need to learn not to do so much, because it's a suppression what's going on here with the 10. But you see the 2 wands, right? You see 8 wands crossing each other and 2 wands, and that's the duality again. And the 8 is that infinite doing, right? And it's like for millions and millions and millions of years that we've been doing things, and that the universe is been spinning and turning and creating and falling apart and recreating and falling apart. And so you understand that the 10 here is again bringing you a clear sign. A cycle has ended, and now you can go out. And this is what the Chariot says: go out, go and reach the stars, but don't work so hard for it, right? Now the 8 is left, and the 8, of course, is again Leo, which is opposite of Aquarius, right? Leo is giving the light to Aquarius full moon, which is in the next month. So maybe there's a sign coming here through that. Then I wanted to see what Leo is saying, because Leo is giving you the light, and he's gonna push the Chariot, right, in a way. So here we have the 8 of Swords. And the 8 of air or swords is kind of like you feel like you're trapped. And when we feel trapped, that trap is in your head. And the constellation here is Jupiter in Gemini. And Gemini is a mind personality, right? It's the Knight of Swords. And you see how she's looking down, and for some reason she's not able to really open up her wings, be someone of significance, right? Be the grander, because Jupiter is grand. Jupiter is like, just do it, because it's important that you do it. And here Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and so maybe the Sagittarian energy is literally saying, use whatever you can use to create now here this important moment, because the 10 and the 8 is the 18, and that's the subconscious, that's the moon, and the moon is in your sign right now, and the moon is ruling you, right? It's like your body, or the celestial body that is ruling you. And so the 18 turns into a 9, right? But also remember, we had the 7. And so the 9 and the 7 is the 16, which is the Tower. So something needs to go here, particularly this, but also this, right? And so the Tower releases you and brings the 7. And so you are left. The 7, remember that you're learning here through your own success story to let go of the old, of the subconscious that is maybe here holding you a little prisoner in the way you act, and also of course in the way you think. And so 10 wands and the Ace of Wands is 11 wands, and so you have the 11 coming here again. So you have twice the 11, and the 11 is important because the 11 is that inner teacher. It's a portal, twice the number 1. I don't calculate that together. Then I wanted to see what is coming through the mother piece, and I use the mother piece always as the clarification, and I need 3 cards because the 3 is the Empress, the 3 is the new form that is coming through the way I explain these three here together, and it's coming the Six of Swords. Now you have 8 swords and 6 swords, and that's 14 swords. And guess what? 14 is Sagittarius, is temperance. And so observe him, see what he does. And he was to the left, right? And so always remember that you need to watch the numbers. You need to watch where it's facing towards. Is it facing to the left? Is it facing your soul? Is it facing to the right, the human aspect, right, the logical perspective of it? And so here we see the Six of Swords. There's a lot of sun coming in right now. The Six of Swords, you see that they are flying here and they're holding each other and they are creating a beautiful pattern. And so it's almost like the Six is saying, hey, spread your wings, fly, you gotta fly. And so the 14 is a 5, and the 5 and the 10 is the 15. Guess what? That's Capricorn. That's when you get your full moon. And so here you understand again what's happening. Now the 15 plus the 7 is the 22. The 22 is the Fool. That's the new beginning, and the Fool is always connected with planet Uranus. And Uranus is the one that is saying you gotta change something so strongly that you get the 22 here. And then of course the 4 can be left if I calculate the 22 together. But the 22, it's like you got the Fool, begin something new, and you have of course here the 14 swords, right? And here you have the 11 of wands, and you understand yourself what that means. So this is very beautiful the way it's talking to you. And remember, we had the 11 here, the 11th zodiac sign. Then we look into the moon, and the moon is bringing you the moon maiden. Look at that. And so here the number 41, the new beginnings, is saying begin completely new, right? This is it. The new moon is over, you're heading to the full moon, and you're gonna now show who you are, because the moon is here, and the moon is the 18, and the 18 is the 9, and the 9 gives itself up. And so here the 41, it's kind of the reverse of the 14 swords, right? 41, 14, it's the 5-5 portal here. And remember, the Six of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius. And Mercury in Aquarius is, of course, Aquarius is here, and Mercury is, of course, the magician. And the magician always is connected with the one, right? And so understand that the Six of Swords are talking here also as a self-love, that you can learn whatever there is to learn. And that's what here the Six of Swords is always letting us know. It's one of the most beautiful sword cards there is, right? All the other sword cards, they're a little intense. So the 9 and the 5 is the 14, and the 14 turns, of course, again into a 5. So the 5 is left. Then I wanted to see what is your deck bringing, because it's the moon, and the moon is in your sign. And so this is the oracle deck, right, that I picked for the dream oracle for the moon, because the moon is watching your dreams. And here comes the 3 of Pentacles. And the 3 of Pentacles is clearly now with the 7 of Pentacles giving you 10 Pentacles. And 10 Pentacles, again, is a lot of money, but you have 7 and 3. So you keep reinventing yourself. It's what I get. Because you see here the 4, and you see here the 3 pointing down. This 3 is kind of pointing up. And so I think to counterbalance this heaviness, you get the 3 so that you can get more money and learn what there is to learn, because the 5 and the 3 is the 8, and the 8 is Leo. Leo is giving you the roar, is giving you the strength, right? And remember the 9. but the 9 gives itself up. But the 9 and the 8 is the 17, and again, that's the star. Shine like a star, and that's what the full moon does when it's a full moon, right? It shines like a star up there, and it is mesmerizing. We're looking up and we're always like, oh my God, how beautiful it is, right? But when it's in the new moon, we don't see it, and no one is even talking about it. But it's really important to plant a seed. So you plant a seed, you do the work in a different way, and so you have the 8. Then I wanted to see what is, of course, the Mother Peace Tarot bringing, and it's bringing you the 10 of Pentacles to the left. And so the 10 of Pentacles to the left is saying here it's pointing to the Moon Maiden. And it's really interesting because now we have 10 and 3, it's the 13, and 13 is death, is transformation, is kind of like making here the 7 of Pentacles. It's kind of like reinventing yourself, right? And it's kind of like Mars in Capricorn, because this is your opposite sign that is going to help you to reinvent yourself. This is Mercury in Virgo. And so understand, right, when I give you the constellation of the deck, because it's important, that's what these decks mean in the tarot. It's not just like, oh, it's a happy family where they're watching how the baby is coming into this world and all these people are excited, right, that there's a new member coming to the family. It's like, this is Mercury, the messenger, and Virgo is the harvest, and it's like, it's the richness of the people coming together and working together, and it's a lot of money. And so you have 7 and 3, 10, 10. You have 20 coins. That's a lot of money, right? You don't just have 10, you have 20 coins. And so you, if you really allow yourself to dive deep down to the Moon Maiden, that's what the moon is saying. Let yourself fall, reinvent yourself, and see that you can make money out of that. And that's what it is. And now you see how the sun is coming in here, and it's creating literally like a enlightened moment here. It's amazing. So we have the 10 and the 5, the 15, and the 3, the 18. And so here we have an 1818 portal. Look at this. It's wow. It's amazing. I just love it. It's just the sun is hitting the lens, and so it's like so beautiful. Okay, the 1818 portal, or then the 99 portal, right? You can choose for yourself. And remember, he is here, right? Aquarius is here. He's helping you with all of that. And then the sun. The sun in Leo is bringing you the volcano. Look at that. And the volcano is, of course, the number 9. And here we had the 9th zodiac sign to the left. So there is a Sagittarius, right, that is like pushing you, inspiring you to see how you can now create something of your own. You have here the 19, which becomes the 10 and the 9, again the 19, and the 10 is left. So the 10 is very clear, letting you know you need to start through Leo now, this new path of yours, and explode with these ideas, with what you want to do, right? And of course I wanted to see what is Leo saying, and Leo is bringing you the 10 of wands that you already had. So now you have 20 wands. You have 20 pentacles and 20 wands. Now the 20 is the last judgment. And what is the last judgment? That's Pluto. And who is Pluto ruling? Scorpio. And we had the transformation here with the 10 and the 13 coins, right? And you understand that this new perspective, building something with other people, because that's what Mars in Capricorn is, right? We're building something within the community. But now you have 20 wands, and of course sometimes at the beginning there's a lot of work. There needs to be so much that needs to be thought about. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? There's a lot to think about, but you can do it, right? Because look, here you get the solution. She's like creating a circle. She is like being not pushed into something that she doesn't want. And so here the 10 and the 9 is also a 19 and the 10 is left. So here is like all 10. 10, 10, 10, right? And here you had the 10, and here you had the 10, and it's all about a completion, right? It's like something is really letting you know, and the light, I mean, it's like crazy. It's understanding that the sun is moving right now, and that's why it's actually hitting the lens, and I'm not going to change it. It's just I'm going to leave it. So see the 10-10 portal here, and of course I wanted to see the mother piece, and you get again 8 wands to the left, and to the left slightly down here into the 9 here. And so you have 28 wands and 28 10 is left. So do those 10 or do those 10, right? Wands, actions, and don't get suppressed. Don't get pushed into a place that you don't want to be. And so the 8 is pointing at this, at the volcano. If you want to do what you want to do, just do it. Because this is the moment, right? Now you need to break free, you need to go out. You were in the dark and now you want to break yourself into your full moon, which takes 6 months, of course. But this is just the beginning. This is just like, I want to get out there. I want to do it. And you are doing it, right? And so here we have the 10 and the 8. Again, the 18. The 18 was the moon, the subconscious is telling you, build something new, right? Have the right community to the left and have the new beginnings, the moon maiden, and you understand, right? You understand what's happening here. It's like, it's powerful. The 10 is left, right? In the end. I mean, here the 10, here the 10, is the 20 and the 8 is the 10. The 10 is left. So yes, do it. And now we have him here, and you understand, after the 10 comes the 11. So somehow you understand that Aquarius is important here as the 11th zodiac sign, and you see that the 10 is literally saying, here, go to the 11. The 11 is always the inner wisdom, the inner knowledge, the portal, the one, the one and only. And so you are realizing what this message is all about, right? What this message is all about, because Leo is here, and Leo can also be the 11 in your deck, right? But of course the deck for Leo, the card looks like that, and the 8, as you know, also came here to the left like this, and you see that she is shooting, right, these arrows out there, and she's like, I'm gonna shoot those arrows down here. It was like this. It was like this. So she's like, she's shooting it into this forward, right? Towards the future, towards the full moon, into the 10, into the new cycle. Wow. I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun in Virgo, and you had here the 10 of Pentacles, Mercury in Virgo, but it was to the left, right? Remember, so it's more an introverted energy here, all this money. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.